want to love you. You need some loving, and I'll take it there. The young thing, and now.
Hey, y'all, and thank you so much for tuning into Respectfully with Miss Pretty Young Thing. I'm your girl, PYT, and let's get into it. So, y'all, I'm going to do a quick beat. I got to step out the house on a business casual tip. So, I'm going to go ahead and do my face while we talk about Baddies episode 3, okay? Baddies USA episode 3 came out this past Sunday, and it's time for us to go over a quick recap, okay? So, before we go ahead and get started, do me a favor and like, comment, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and tell a friend to tell a friend that PYT is in the building, all right? So let's go ahead and get started. So the episode basically kicks off from where we left off from episode 2, which was Dolly versus Tinkerbella in the Sprinter, okay? So we know as far as their beef stems back from Midwest. So this is just a continuation of it. And respectfully, on the Sprinter, I feel like Tink got her. On the Sprinter, I definitely feel like Tink got her. Dolly, you lost, in my Tink voice. And she ended up with a big cut on her nose. Like, it was like them bus fights. You know, it's barely any space. Dolly didn't have the space and opportunity that she wanted to do what it was that she really wanted to execute there. And Dolly, you ended up getting got. And Tink ends up admitting on the Sprinter that she's only fighting Dolly for her fans. Basically, her fans is hyping her up because remember, they were supposed to fight at the Midwest reunion, but Tink was pregnant, so she can't fight with child, and they ended up not fighting. Now that she laid her egg, they're continuing the fight. So I feel like she was been over it, but fans were hyping up the situation. Oh, Tink is coming back. She has to fight Dolly. We need to see her fight Dolly. So she just did it for that and not necessarily because she really has continued the beef. Because it's like you were sitting next to her the whole time in the Sprinter and had no problem. And now all of a sudden you have a problem. So honestly, I feel like Tink is weird for that. But let me know how you feel about it in the comments. How you feel about them finally letting off their steam. Okay, so in the next scene, Natalie ends up pulling up in that same black and white, I don't know if it's a Phantom. Y'all tell me what kind of car that is. But Natalie ends up pulling up to the DC house. Now, the DC house looks phenomenal, okay? But Natalie did notate that they are not going to be staying in the house this season. And you know what that tells me? Lemmy, you got money. Because you're telling me that you're renting a house sitting on acres on acres on acres and none of the ladies are staying in the house this season. They're going to be hotel hopping basically and just going to the house for house meeting and general consensuses. That's crazy to me. Because, child, let me know in the comments how much y'all think that house cost for them to be renting in the first place just for shooting purposes. Now, I do understand that this is including, the BGC girls, and the cast is kind of large, so there's not a lot of space to be able to do what they gotta do. So I understand from that perspective. But dang, not even Natalie staying in the house while the rest of the girls are. Like, who's staying in the house? Is that like the crew house until it's time for them to do house meetings? Like, how is this happening? I refuse to believe that y'all only use the house for filming. Like, who's staying at the house? Lemmy and Scotty got to be staying at the house. Somebody's staying at the house, okay? So then from there, the first Sprinter pulls up. This Sprinter has Scotty, Fauna, Tavy, and Cold Killer. Now, they all, I'm getting into, my fashion of my vlogging era. And I paid attention to their clothes. And as far as their outfits go, everybody was dressed extremely casual, hair done, makeup on light. Okay, and I don't know if you noticed, but like in my opinion, Tavy was in there dressed like Soldier Boy. She had her big jersey on. She was looking like a 90s high schooler. She had her big boy shorts on with the sneakers. I don't know what the hell was going on. She was giving Fauna's man, allegedly. So they pull up to the house or whatever. The house looked even more amazing inside. And what I love most about this house, y'all, the decor was like white and gold. And my dream house literally looks like the inside of that house. So that house was giving goals for me. I don't know about y'all. So by the time they get into the house or whatever, they end up outside and they see the big pool. And by then, Cold Killer dares Tavy to jump in the pool with just as is with all her clothes on for $500. Child, let me know in the comments whether or not you think that she really got their money. Because you know they don't like each other. Killer tolerates her, okay? So she ended up jumping in with all her clothes on, and then from there they're playing with Capri in the back while the other sprinter ends up pulling up. So from there, the big three, Tink, Gretch, Suki, Rolly, Nunu, and Sapphire end up getting out of the van, and Natalie greets them. So while Natalie is trying to give them a nice humble hello, Tink squares up. And Natalie's sitting there confused, like, what y'all fighting about? Like, what the hell is going on in the yard of in this home? Tink and Killer about to fight. I don't know what rhymes with fight right now. But basically, they got a whole bunch going on. Tink got Dolly in the sprinter, like I said, but I think Dolly got Tink in the front yard. Like, I feel like by the time I slowed it down, I don't know about y'all, but I saw all of Dolly's hits connecting and none of Tink's connecting. Even by the time Tink was kind of sort of trying to rush her and Dolly fell back by way of security trying to scoop her up, she didn't even get no hits while she was trying to falling on the ground. And it's crazy to me that that's the first time of 2 times in this episode that Tink is trying to rush somebody while they're falling. Come on now, Tink. Let's not do that. Let's not fight that. Well, there's no rules to fighting, so let me shut the hell up. So basically from there, their last round, Summer intervened. Summer, why are you intervening? Like, Dolly got this. Dolly sincerely got this, okay? So now, you know, everybody telling her to get off. Lex is pulling her away from their situation or whatever. And while she over here trying to get into Dolly's situation, she done snatched her titty. Get off my titty, Summer! She screamed out loud as hell. And of course, Lex is now trying to snatch the drink away from Summer. By this point in time, you realize how lit Summer is. They just got to the house. So it's one of those things where it's just like, what kind of bottles did they have on this sprinter? How long was the sprinter ride from y'all hotel for you to be this lit already? And of course, Lex is unsuccessful in snatching the drink from Summer's hand or whatever. So then Summer's like, 3 rounds and it's done, 3 rounds and it's done. So then from there, Lex is screaming in Summer's face like, Summer, who are you? Basically, who are you to say how many rounds that they're supposed to go, whatever the case may be. And this was so funny to me because Summer said, hi, I'm Summer, none other. I'm that bitch. Nice to meet you. And it was just like, girl, you are lit. Like, not you introducing yourself to Lex. That ish was hilarious to me. So now Dolly popping her ish in the confessionals. Nah, Tink, you lost. She literally said the exact same thing that Tink said. And respectfully, you ate that. You ate that. So the ladies enter the house. Sapphire is impressed by the house. She grew up in D.C. and never seen houses this beautiful or whatever. Where's my tape? And then they end up joining the first set of ladies in the yard, okay? So from there, Natalie ends up dropping the 411 of the season. She said she won't be around as much because the drama is kind of sort of getting to her. And she feels like it's overwhelming. She'll be taking little breaks and will walk out if it becomes too much. Honestly, I understand exactly why Natalie feels like this is becoming too much. Simply because y'all are filming bike to bike. I talked about this on my live. Beginning of the year, we were filming Caribbean. By springtime, before I got promoted to the job that I'm in right now, they were at the reunion. I filmed the reunion of Midwest in March. I want to say March 6th or 7th because my first day on the job was March 9th. January was Caribbean. No, January we were ending Caribbean and starting Midwest because we ended last year. Last December, they were in Caribbean. By January, they were in Midwest. By March, they were filming the reunion because I was there. By April, they were in Africa. By the end of the summer, they're leaving Africa to start the tour of Baddies USA. Natalie, that's why you're exhausted. That's why you're tired. That's why you're overwhelmed because it's back to back to back to back. Like, y'all need to pace yourselves for real. So yeah, I definitely think that Natalie and them need to definitely pace themselves when it comes to the back-to-back seasons, or else, child, Baddies is gonna get worn out quickly. Okay, but you already know Lemmy is looking for a replacement for Natalie, so we'll see how that goes. So she ends up filling them into the Bad Girls Club drama from the link going left, and she shows them the Bad Girls chains that she wanted to present them but never got a chance to. So they're looking at the chains or whatever. Did you catch the subtle sneak diss that Summer did at Dolly during that part? Because she was telling her, like, look at her walking up or whatever. I think she was talking to Dolly or whatever, but she might have not been talking to Dolly. I don't want to put words in Summer's mouth, but it seemed like she was throwing a sneak diss at somebody, and then by the time they changed camera views, she was looking at Dolly. But either or, from there, Summer, actually, now that I think about it, she was probably talking to Cold Killer. Because from there, Summer ends up cutting Natalie off to regard Cold Killer. And Cold Killer ends up saying that she's still mad about the Tinka situation and the whole song of it all. Now, in my opinion, the song isn't for none of them. So neither of them should be angry. They really don't have no reason to be fighting. But it's one of those things where, honestly, neither Cold Killer or Tinkerbella really have a storyline outside of either of them. So it is what it is. So Natalie is telling them, y'all need to understand, y'all need to calm down. We understand, we overstand it. When she said that was funny to me, because honestly, she was saying what we were saying, like, yo, like, y'all need to relax. Like, y'all beef is definitely old and it's overdue, and it's honestly stems from 2 seasons ago. So who really cares? Especially since the producer that made the track in the first place, rest in peace, that y'all both ate off of, is no longer even with us. Rest in peace to him. So then from there, Natalie ends up doing a big congratulations to Scotty for announcing her pregnancy. Because remember, Natalie was not there when Scotty let the ladies know that she was with child. Now, I feel like Natalie definitely was jealous. Not of Scotty being pregnant per se, of not being, with the lady. Basically, of being the last one to know about the situation. And honestly, Natalie, you can only blame yourself in that. Like, you introduced Scotty as one of your best friends. You put us on to Miss with the Body. You introduced Lemmy, since we talking introductions, by way of the beef between Natalie and Lyrica, which we'll talk on another video. You introduced Scotty to the plumber in the first place. So for you to be like, I can understand that she's, frustrated that she didn't find out about till after the fact, but you've been pushing Scotty away since day one. You've been showing her that you don't really give a damn about her since the jump. And now Scotty done wised up and bossed up and babied up. It is what it is. Like, you can only blame yourself on that. So she gave Scotty a congratulations, in the words of Meatball. Summer told Scotty the name of the baby should be Summer, and Scotty got a mouth to her, and it's hilarious sometimes because Scotty said she'll name the baby Winter before she named the baby Summer. So then from there, the next group arrives, and it's Tasiki, Mariah Lynn, Biggie, as well as Anna Mac. So they get out of their Sprinter. Okay, looking cutesy. Biggie looked very good in her outfit. I love that lavender on her. And Natalie greets them as they join them in the yard coming down the stairs. While they coming down the stairs, Summer, boo! Boo! Summer, when I tell you, she inserted herself in every single conversation this episode. Things that had nothing to do with her, things that had everything to do with her, things that were positive, she made negative. It was just like, that, calm down. And that's the theme of the episode. Summer, calm down. Okay, that's my renaming the episode. Summer, calm down, okay? So she's booing Anna Mac or whatever, and Natalie's just like, F what she talk about, and starts giving the lady hugs. And she hugs Anna Mac, which I love that, because Anna ended up in the confessionals giving Natalie her props, saying, even though we don't see eye to eye, I'm going to do my best to be cordial and good with her in our relationship, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be here. None of us would be here before Natalie. And honestly, Anna Mac is a very mature young lady because of that. Like, it makes me respect her even more, because she's one of those people that can recognize real. And a lot of the ladies will not you know, admit that they want to, you know, do this and do that, but won't kind of sort of just, you know, give Natalie her true flowers. You know what I mean? So that moment happens, and as Anna is hugging the other girls, Summer is throwing shade at Mariah Lynn, and she's just being a camera hog. She's literally like doing the absolute most to garner as much attention as she possibly can. And respectfully, what the hell was in that cup? Okay, it was giving dark liquor plus light liquor. It was giving Don Julio chased with Hennessy. Like I need to know what was in that cup. They say that on Jocelyn's Cabaret that is an alcoholic, but Summer, I don't know if you ate with nothing, if you drank with nothing in your stomach, but I'm gonna need you not to drink as much as you were on that episode, okay? So then she ends up telling Anna that she got on the wrong shirt. Anna has a shirt that says Miss America, because you know it's Baddies USA, America themed. And she's like, oh, you cute, but that shirt not cute. You not Miss America. You need to take that off. Shut up. Acting dumb. And Tasiki you could tell she's getting irritated from the corner of her eye with her glasses on. Like, you can see her glasses through them eyes, through them lenses. I mean, you can see her glasses through them lenses. You can see her eyes through them glasses, getting irritated with Summer jumping into everything. And right there is when you can kind of sort of see that she's sick of her talking. She's sick of her presence. She's sick of everything when it comes to Summer. So Summer, Biggie is giving her hugs or whatever and is about to regard Bad Dolly when Summer interjects and said, leave Smiley alone. And she was just like, yo, I don't have no problem with Smiley. Like, we already fought it out. It is what it is. But Dolly, you was about to say that I look good or whatever, and then you basically snatched away your compliment. Summer over here interjecting. She talking about some man, whatever, Rolly, and she accidentally called Biggie Rolly. I don't know if y'all caught it, but that shit was so funny. Dolly definitely caught it because her and Summer were laughing, and Biggie definitely ignored it and continued saying, like, y'all know I look cute. You was about to compliment me and say that I look cute, but you acting funny because the cameras were there. But honestly, that was funny. It was really funny. And that would have changed the whole dynamic of the conversation if Biggie would have answered or whatever. So they ended up complimenting her or whatever, telling her that she looked good. And then from there, Natalie is still confused about all the tension. The ladies came back guns blazing. The ladies came back with all of this tension, and she's trying to figure out why fights were breaking out. And basically the season just started. Like, what's going on? So then from there, Dolly ends up addressing her situation with Anna. Now, with them, remember, they already had their beef, and they kind of sort of was smoothing it out. But then by way of, I want to say the premiere of, what's the last season? Africa, is when it became up and stuck between them, or whatever the case may be. So then from there, Anna is basically saying that Dolly traded in her for Summer at the premiere, and Anna says that her and her friends like Dolly and Lex, and it's Summer that's basically the problem child when it comes to, you know, their relations with the big three. So then from there, Dolly is basically saying it's confusing because she feels like Anna Mac keeps switching up on her. She says that she likes her, but she don't act like she likes her, or whatever the case may be. And while Dolly and her are, you know, trying to, you know, smooth things out and kind of sort of come to a good consensus, I feel like Dolly is basically trying to make amends with people that she wasn't cool with from previous seasons, so that she can have, you know, a good Baddies USA experience, which there's nothing wrong with that. But Summer kept cutting her off to put in her own experiences. But what I will say is, to Summer's defense, Summer did not begin cutting her off until Anna brought her in, because Anna kept mentioning her name, because Anna was just like, oh, we were cool with you, but you kept choosing Summer and Summer. Anna was the one that kept, you know, antagonizing Summer, if y'all catch it. I don't want to put all the blame on Summer in this circumstance, because Anna, you did, I love you, girl, but you brought Summer's name into the equation, okay? So then from there, Dolly basically says that I don't want to fight Anna because she's smaller than her or whatever, but we the same size, besides, the fact that I got all this ass. But then Summer cuts her off to say, and I'm smaller than Tasiki. Summer, we know this to be true, but shut up. Right now, this moment is about Anna Mac and Bad Dolly. Let your friend cook real quick, because I know what she was trying to get to, but we will never get to that consensus because Summer keeps cutting her the F off or whatever. So that right there, Summer did not have to enter herself in, but she chose to because I guess she wanted Bad Dolly and Anna Mac to fight because she don't like Anna Mac. That's the vibe that it gave me. But then from there, Summer brought Tasiki's name up. So she's like, but I fought Tasiki. Man, Tasiki's bigger than me. Tasiki. Now Tasiki's name is brought into the situation. So now she's constantly trying to make points on fighting Tasiki as a priority over Bad Dolly fighting Anna Mac. And Tasiki is privy to this circumstance and honestly just wants, Summer to shut the hell up. So now from this point, Tasiki... Remember, was it Baddies Caribbean? No, it was Baddies. Was it Africa or Caribbean? I don't know. That Rolly was sneaking up on somebody. I think it was Caribbean. Rolly was sneaking up on somebody and she snuck up in the slowest of motions. Tasiki snuck up so vividly. I don't understand how Summer did not catch it. Tasiki sneaks up to Summer, right? And slaps the taste buds out of this lady's mouth, okay? She literally snatched her up by the taste buds. Child, I don't know what to say. Like, she did that, okay? And honestly, Summer, you set yourself up. I don't feel bad for Summer at this point in time. I do not. There's no space for me to feel bad for Summer at this point in time because you are the one that antagonized Tasiki by bringing her name up in a circumstance that ain't got nothing to do with you, inserting yourself in such circumstances that you ain't got nothing to do with. You messing with Anna Mac, and Anna Mac is Tasiki is her. Tasiki act like her sole purpose in life is to protect Anna Mac in some occasions. So it's like, all she had to do was shut up. This brush won't come out. There we go. All she had to do was shut up. That's all she had to do. And she didn't do so, which led to, like that. That slap was so loud, y'all. That slap was so loud. So then from this point, Dolly is doing her best to hold Summer back. Because child Tasiki has now entered the chat. And she's just telling them to calm down, telling Tasiki, to back up or whatever. And now Lex is also entered the chat. She kind of sort of let them talk it out from where she was standing or whatever the case may be. And child, while they're pushing Summer back, she's like, you can't bully me. You can't bully me. You not a bully. You a rapist. Honestly, from this point in time, it's one of those things where Summer keeps telling Tasiki that she needs to regard Chrisean before she regards Summer. But in this moment, she needs to regard you before she regards her sister. Because now you're antagonizing me, and you're antagonizing me to a point of no return. Like, Tasiki was going easy on her this episode. She was going easy on her. But when Tasiki puts the full wrath on her, there's going to be no turnaround. It's not. And I feel like she is putting this going easy on her because, she knows deep inside that she should be regarding her sister and not putting all the blame on Summer. Let me know in the comments why you think that Tasiki is going easy on Summer. But I definitely feel like she knows that there is some right in what Summer is saying when she says that she needs to be talking to her sister and not to like the peanut gallery, because at this point in time, Summer is the loud ass peanut gallery. So after she does that, after she says that, Lexer, why do I keep calling her Lexer? Big Legs is pulling Summer by the collar. And when I tell you that, it was funny to me because she was literally like grabbing her by the collar, like, you know, a child that's trying to convince a mom to get something to eat for them at the grocery store. And she was just like, get your ass over here. I'm not buying that. Do you got McDonald's money? It was giving like that. She was grabbing her by the collar or whatever, trying to calm her down or whatever. And Summer is steady talking about something, keep me out of the family group chat. And it's like, Summer, she was keeping you out of the group chat. You inserted yourself into it. And by the time she put you out of the group chat, you actually created a new group chat and added Chrisean and Tasiki to it. Like, I honestly don't feel no type of way towards everything that a lot of people talk about how they feel bad for Summer in these scenes or whatever the case may be. I don't. Summer does not give me the space and opportunity to begin to feel any type of sorry for her, because you are literally screaming at the top of your lungs that this girl is a rapist. And it's one of those things where it's just like, you've accepted your fate. You've accepted your fate. And now you have the audacity to be mad at your friend. Like, you've accepted your fate, okay? You really have. So then from there, Rolly is telling Summer steady to stop interrupting Dolly. Dolly is your sister. Stop interrupting her. And Summer is not listening, okay? And Summer keeps saying that you keep trying to fight me. Go fight your sister. But it's one of those things where it's just like, you brought her name up in the middle of a discussion between Dolly and Anna. So it's like, I gotta regard what you're saying. I'm not gonna ignore you to fight my sister, then go and fight you. No, that's backwards. I'm gonna regard everybody that's getting on my nerves about my family-ish, and then I'm going to finish this discussion with their family. And then to Tasiki's defense, Summer was lighting a fire, you know, that ain't had nothing to do with her, to something that Tasiki thought that her and her sister discussed, and it's only being brought up again because Chrisean is the one that went live to regard it again. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of moving pieces when it came to that. In conclusion, Summer, it was none of your business. All right. So then from there, Natalie even jumps in telling Summer to stop cutting Dolly off, but Summer is not listening. And Summer is saying to her, you know, fight your sister. You keep trying to fight me. Meanwhile, in the background, you see Cole Killer sneaking Tinkerbella. Ciao. It's one of those things where it's just like, there's nothing that we can say about it. She does not like Cole Killer. I mean, she does not like Cole Killer. She does not like Tinkerbella. We know this. Let the games begin. Battle of the Sneaks continues between these ladies or whatever. Child, they start squaring up. When I tell you it took them 40 days and 40 nights to fight. It took them 40 days and 40 nights. This is the wrong color. It made absolutely no sense why they were taking so long to do what they needed to do. Like, it was frustrating. It was doom, 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 doom. When I tell you, it was just like, come on. All right. Square up. Ding, 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 ding. The ladies got to a point in time where they were making fun of them, okay? But before that, Tommy, I can't talk today, y'all. I'm sorry. Tommy ends up pulling up to the house, okay? They still squaring up in the yard, okay? And, child, while they're squaring up, Kokilla ends up tripping on the side step to get from the patio or whatever the case may be to the yard, and Tink tries to rush her. Now, I will give Alexis Radcliffe all the props in the world for stopping Tink from running up on Kokilla. It would have been a cold move, okay? Ain't no rules to fighting, like they like to say. But it would have been a cold move nonetheless. And I will definitely give Lex her props, because I feel like now it's to a point in time where instead of her only, you know, being the moral guru to Summer and Dolly, She's making sure that fights are fair between the other ladies as well, which I can't necessarily say that she's never done that, because remember, the only reason her and Fauna aren't friends is because she inserted herself into their situation as well, which turned into her and Fauna fighting. Okay, but then from there, I still give cool points to Lex nonetheless for doing that, or whatever the case may be. So then from there, child, Sapphire and Suki over here doing the tango, and that scene was so funny to me because we don't get a lot of comedic relief moments like that on Baddies because of the fact that their emphasis is on the negative in the fighting or whatever. So it definitely brought some light into the room for all of the tension that was across our screens when it came to all of the squabbles that were happening. So I definitely appreciate Zeus for doing that. And then from there, Gretch starts interjecting. Now, if Gretch gotta tell you that you're wrong, the same lady that bit Jayla at Baddies Midwest right in front of me, you know you're wrong, Summer. Gretch telling you about yourself, you know you are wrong. Gretch said what she said. You can't just be interrupting your friends. Okay, now it's very clear that, Gretch needs a storyline at this point in time. But it don't change the fact that Gretch was not wrong. Okay, Mama Gretch has spoken, all right? So then from there, Tommy ends up joining the ladies. By that time, Tink and Kokilla finally begin fighting. Okay, so I definitely feel like Kokilla did a better job than Tink when it comes to their fighting, because she was throwing more hits. She definitely was throwing more hits. She was landing more hits while they were going back and forth with each other. Let me know in the comments whether or not you agree or disagree. But to me, where's my mirror? Okay. To me, she was landing more hits. So in this round, like I said, I feel like Kokilla was definitely doing, her best or whatever. And Tink was doing her best hair pulling, which turns into Kokilla not only losing her wig, but losing a whole cornrow, y'all. Not a strand, not a follicle, but a cornrow, okay? So her braid is literally sitting on the floor, and you could tell her adrenaline was rushing to the max, because she even said in her confessional, all of a sudden she felt a breeze on the side of her head and realized that she was bald right there. But when I tell you, that girl took it like a champ. She was just like, oh my God, but it's cool. She is adorable to me. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I love me some Kokilla. Like, she took that like a champ. She took it even better than than DTB did at the reunion when she got scalped or whatever the situation is. But child, I give her props for taking it the way that she did. Okay. So then from there, Summer and Tasiki are going again. And Tasiki is basically asking Summer, like approaching her, asking her like, why you keep disrespecting me? Why you keep disrespecting me? And trying to like reach up and smack her. And Summer's swimming. Summer is swimming for dear life, trying to like defend herself to her. And Summer is screaming, and I still believe Chrisean. I still believe Chrisean. Y'all know that saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I genuinely believe that if Summer came correct when it came to Tasiki's situation with Chrisean, that she would not have gotten the treatment that she did. But Summer just yaps so much that she creates problems for herself. Like, and I still believe Chrisean, okay, keep your opinion. That's my opinion! Keep your opinion in your diary. There's no reason for you to say it out loud. Keep your opinion between you, Bad Dolly, and Lex. There's no reason for you to say it out loud. You don't know all of the terms. You don't know everything that happened. You were not there in the Malone household while it was taking place. It was just like, dang, shut up, Summer, shut up. So many moving pieces in this scene, y'all. So then from there, when I tell you Tasiki hit her with a mean one, it was just like, bah, like, child. But Summer's bound to back game was intriguing to me because she was still talking. And I feel like that alcohol, Summer definitely couldn't drive. She was giving like 3 times the alcohol limit. I feel like she probably didn't feel none of that until the morning. One, because we know Tasiki was going easy on her. But then 2, simply because like the alcohol was just going, like her heart was probably pounding in her cheek, but she wasn't feeling it like that because of the alcohol. Like, I feel like that liquid courage is the devil. And I'm gonna need Summer to not bow down to the devil no more, because it was honestly, I've never seen somebody volunteer their face to Tasiki before. Let's just say that. Even Marsh would just had a little more sense to her than Summer in this circumstance. But I give Summer her props. She stood in there. She stood in the paint. I thought it was going to be a KO, but it wasn't. But I feel like this is the first circumstance where Tasiki is going easy on somebody. I will say that. I feel like Tasiki was not giving her full wrath to Summer. And if she was, it would have been a whole different situation. That's just my humblest opinion. That's my opinion. That's my humblest opinion, okay? So they fight, and Summer is windmilling with her head down. And I feel like the windmilling as well with her, like, that Summer was doing, let me take this off so that I can blend my foundation, was giving her an advantage. And what I mean by that is, at the end of the day, Tasiki wanted to crack her face. She's not able to crack her face because Summer's head is down. And while Summer's head is down, and Tasiki steady trying to like strategically knock her out or whatever her strategy was, Summer is getting hits in miraculously. Okay? And I feel like that was bothering Tasiki as well. So it was just like, she's trying to get Summer to calm down. She's trying to get Summer to shut the hell up and mind her business. But then at the same token, Summer is drunkenly getting some hits in and actually landing them. So Summer was definitely on fight mode before she went into flight mode or whatever. So then from there, Chrisean, Marsh, and DJ Sky arrive, and Tasiki's whole mood shifts, y'all. Her entire mood shifts, I tell you. And honestly, child, to speak of the devil, to be honest, speak of the devil. Chrisean has entered the chat. Okay. So then from there, it's one of those things where big sister is telling little sister that they don't have to have this conversation in front of the camera. And Chrisean is confused as to what kind of conversation that they have to have. And I feel like Chrisean's confusion is what's working Tasiki's nerves to a point in time where she's like having a meltdown. All right. So she begins to cry. She's beginning to get flustered and frustrated or whatever the case may be. And Tasiki essentially is mad at Chrisean for bringing up her allegations again. Well, Chrisean is bringing up her allegations towards her sister again on live after they have already had a sit down to talk about it, which honestly, that is annoying. I wouldn't be able to stand a circumstance in which you and I have talked about and we are on a better accord and we're working towards, a better tomorrow. And you steady still, bringing it up to the internet. And this isn't just a regular girl up the street. This is your sister. So I can understand where Tasiki is coming from, where she is frustrated about her sister. Because it's like, yo, we were good yesterday. We were perfectly fine before. And now all of a sudden, I'm looking on the internet and I'm being tagged in videos of Chrisean talking in present day when we talked yesterday and we're good yesterday. So it's one of those things where like the confusion was confusioning, and I couldn't understand why Chrisean was confused by what the hell was going on, because child, it was just a sea of emotions, okay? A sea of emotions. So then from there, Tasiki, Summer starts yelling, Chrisean, beat that bitch ass. So this is what Chrisean is yelling from the balcony. Because by that time, they done walked her to the balcony so that she can calm her ass down or whatever. And she is yelling from the balcony, okay? Trying to, honestly, she was fangirling over Chrisean just a tad. It was one of those things where she was just like, Chrisean. She's steady trying to get Chrisean's attention, but it's like, yo, Chrisean needs to have a moment with her sister. Like, you need to relax really quick. You need to sit down. Like, you want her to face her circumstance with her sister, but you keep inserting herself into the family group chat. You're saying, exit me from the family group chat, but you are literally on the top of the balcony yelling, put me back in the group chat. Like, girl, Summer got what she deserved. I don't care what nobody got to say about it. So then from there, she's still screaming from the balcony, talking about, beat that bitch ass or whatever. And Lex is basically irritated and tells her, Summer, shut the up, which we've seen from the previews or whatever. So Tommy is now interjecting. Tommy is telling Tasiki to wait until no one's around to have a private conversation with her sister, which I understand wholeheartedly. Listen, Tommy got sisters. Tommy even had beef with her mother at one point in time. So she understands like the camera in front of her family drama or whatever the case may be. And honestly, this scene makes me wonder how Tommy and Tasiki ended up falling out after this, for them to not like each other now, because of the fact that, Tommy kind of sort of was trying her best to have Tasiki's back through everything that is happening in these scenes and even in the following episode. Okay, so then from there, Tasiki is not listening to Tommy. She's trying to have the conversation right now, whatever, but can't say the words. She keeps choking on her words. And Summer is yelling at Big Lex. Lex is telling her that when your friends are telling you that you need to stop and calm down, you need to listen to your friends. And Summer is just like, F you, puts her hand to her face. Lex is over it, and she says F you too and walks away. Finally, just leave Summer alone. She's not listening to you. Because honestly, Lex got way more patience than me. Because the second that you not listening to me downstairs, I'm not following you upstairs. You antagonizing from up there, okay, you're asking for you to get your ass beat. It is what it is. So Lex basically says, I'm not a mom, essentially saying that she's no longer going to waste time trying to calm Summer down and babysit her. And then while she's saying that, Anna is trying to rush Summer. So now Lex is back on mom duty, trying to go upstairs and trying to figure out what got Anna tripping or whatever. So Lex goes back up the steps. Downstairs, you see Chrisean is trying to talk and trying to figure out why Tasiki is glitching and shit, like she said on her confessional. And Taseki brings Nat into the conversation. Now, this is where Tommy starts getting irritated because she feels like you should be talking to your sister. You should not be bringing other people into the conversation. Y'all need to wait until y'all are in private or whatever the case may be. So you hear Tommy yelling in the background or whatever the case may be. And Tasiki is saying to Nat, if we've already squashed our situation, why are you letting other people dog me out, talking about Summer and Tommy? Now, at this point in time, I don't even remember. Let me know in the comments what Tommy said, because I don't remember what Tommy said. We know what Summer said, but what did Tommy say? I don't remember. So then from there, Tommy's yelling in the background, like I said, saying that the sisters need to have a private conversation. Because inserting other people into the conversation is the problem. This is the reason why they have gotten to where they have gotten now. So then from there, Tommy is basically saying, Taseki, talk to your sister, bro. No, what did she say? She said, Taseki, talk to your sister, bro. And she was like, it's not Taseki, it's Taseki. And she was just like, I don't know, babe. Tommy is hilarious because she looked so defeated. She was just like, listen, bitch, I'm just trying to help. I don't know what your name is. I just pulled up to this damn house. I didn't sign up for any of this. Like, she looked so defeated, and it was so hilarious. So then from there, Taseki said, Taseki trying to talk to Chrisean, saying, you jumped me on TV. What she meant is, you got me jumped on TV. But Chrisean over here talking about I didn't jump you. I never jumped you. And it's like, now y'all arguing over semantics. And it's like I said before, I can see why Tasiki is overwhelmed, because it's one of those things where, like, if we've already talked about it behind closed doors, now you're bringing it back to the people. Now I'm trying to talk to you about it and tell you that you owe me an apology to the public, like Tasiki said before, and you over here acting like there is no problem and saying that you never jumped me. Girl, you got me jumped. Regardless of how I just worded it, you know what I meant, okay? Like, I hate it when I'm trying to express myself and I say my words wrong and somebody's steady trying to act like they don't know what I'm talking about. That's how Tasiki felt, okay? So Summer is basically interjecting again, talking to Chrisean. Chrisean goes up to the steps to tell Summer to chill out. So while Chrisean goes up to the steps, Tasiki, I'm talking like Tommy. Tasiki goes behind them and smacks smacks Summer down the steps, okay? Child, when I tell you, hats out to Dolly and Lex, because they did their very best to have Summer's back, to a point in time where while Dolly is trying to collect Summer from the staircase, Summer ends up falling on top of the girl. Okay, child, she fell flat at the bottom of the steps with Summer sitting on top of her, trying to get her to get away from Tasiki because she talking too much, okay? So it's one of those things where it's just like, yo, like, you got your friends going ham trying to have your back, but then you're on the internet acting like they didn't have your back. And it's like, Summer, like, let's not exaggerate here. Like, they had your back. You were too drunk to realize what the hell is going on. Like, you were too drunk to figure out what was going on. I can also say that Marsh is definitely a good friend as well, because while that is happening, with everything going on with the sisters, she's still standing by Chrisean's side loud and proud, even when Chrisean even was getting irritated by her, you know, following behind her while she's trying to get her words out to her sister, and gets bucked with Marsh, and Marsh didn't move. Marsh did not move. Marsh was just like, what? I'm here with you. The fuck? Like, I give Marsh her 10s for that, because that was very G of her. Very G. Marsh is not scary. And we know she's not scary because, child, you went head to head with Tasiki. Left lumpy. And still here to this day. To this day. Okay? We got to give Marsh her props. We got to give Marsh her props. All right? So then from there, Suki ends up telling Summer that she is not a real friend to Dolly. Dolly ain't your friend. Not Dolly ain't your friend. Summer, you're not a real friend. You're not her friend. She's like, who friend? You're not Dolly friend. Summer, you know she got a clap back. She said, oh, well, you not Sapphire real friend. You know she got something to say about everything. And basically they're going back and forth. And while they're going back and forth, Anna at the top of the steps is sneaking Summer, okay, child? So Anna has re-entered herself from the group chat. Now, this second sneak, I disagree with you, Anna. Like, I see why you were trying to sneak her the first time around, because Tasiki is your friend, and she is irritating the living everything out of Tasiki. And you were just trying to get her to get in her place. But at this point in time, she's having a whole different conversation with Suki. So I don't see the relevance of her trying to sneak at this point in time. So, like, I didn't respect Cold Killer sneaking Tinkerbella the second time around. Well, I understand it because you ripped my hair out, but I don't respect it because, child, it's a whole different situation happening, and you entered in the group chat with your own sneak that has nothing to do with nothing at this point in time because, child, y'all way in the back. The cameraman wasn't even ready. So then from there, Rolly is basically, that was bad timing. So then from there, Rolly tells Summer to calm down. Like, she's not even telling Summer. She's yelling in Summer's face, like, calm down. She looked like she was talking to her son. Like, her son that went to jail, and Rolly had to go to the jailhouse to pick her son up with her Baddies check as bail money. And she yelling in her son's face. That's what it felt like. Okay, she's like, calm down, and Chrisean ends up joining that group chat, and Tasiki follows again and punches Summer from the side. Now, Tasiki, you're being petty. That was a sucker punch. Okay, But at the end of the day, I can't tell Tasiki how to feel, because by this point in time, like, she's heated. Summer did the absolute most in inserting herself, and it's one of those things where, like, you asked for my attention, so now I'm giving it to you, essentially. So then from there, Summer goes into the house trying to get away from Tasiki. She's had enough. She's drunk. She's unstable. She is tired of getting mopped and socked and plopped, or whatever the case may be. And you could tell Summer is like that girl at this point in time as far as storylines go, because everybody goes into the house after Summer goes into the house trying to get away from her. All of the baddies follow. So then from there, Marsh and Tasiki end up having a moment. And Tasiki basically tells her that she is a real friend to her sister, that she is a real one, or whatever. And that she doesn't lie on behalf of her sister, and she keeps it a P, basically. And she says that she never will. Marsh says that she never will. But she doesn't like that Tasiki weaponizes their friendship. I don't like the fact that Zeus kind of sort of cut that conversation off, because that conversation was necessary after Marsh got her ass whooped on TV. I feel like they should have gave Marsh a little time of day, but I understand why they didn't, because at the end of the day, Marsh is not a contracted Zeus member. She is technically just a special guest by way of Chrisean, or whatever the case may be. I definitely still think that Marsh should be given an opportunity to be a baddie. I would like to hear things from a Marsh's perspective. I would like to see, Marsh as an individual rather than seeing her as a friend of the show, if y'all get what I'm saying. So let me know. Let me know in the comments if you agree. So then from there, Summer is behind the curtain trying to like get away from Tasiki or whatever the case may be. And Tommy joins her. And Summer starts breaking down because she's just like telling everybody she don't want to be by nobody. She's having a moment. Like the alcohol is, child. The lick is licking. And she starts breaking down in Tommy's arms. Like, Summer definitely, I feel like at this point in time, realizes, the position that she's in. And she just wants to lay the hell down. Like, the liquor has hit. She getting dizzy. She probably woke up with a hangover. She just wants to lay the hell down by this point in time. And Tommy's giving her a hug, and she's trying her best to be there for her. From there, I feel like Lex finally realizes what's going on and comes behind the curtain. That triggers Summer. And at this point in time, I feel like Lex should have just, by the time she said she's hanging it up flat screen, she should have hung it up flat screen. Because from here on, like from the time they said F you on the top of the stairs, Summer is not liking the sight of Lex, okay? Because as soon as she gets there, she's like, no, you need to go be with them, go be with your friends out there, or whatever. And she's basically telling her to get out of her face. She let them girls touch her, but Lex is just like, you're the one antagonizing them to want to fight you in the first place. And Summer's just like, you need to go. And Lex is just like, no, because you need to accept your fate, because you the one that set yourself up. Which, Lex is not wrong, but then at the same token, like, when a person is drunk, what I've realized is that when a person is drunk, they're not in their right mind, and that no logical circumstance is going to get them to understand where you are coming from. You are speaking logically. They are speaking illogical. They are off on the deep end, and you are steady trying to get them to think logically with you. Lex, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go, because she is not going to get it from your perspective. She is drunk. Just leave it where it lays, okay, Mookie? Okay. So then from there, Lex says that I'm trying to help you. And Summer's just like, go help them bitches. Lex begins to cry out of frustration. And it's just like, whatever, like, ain't nothing I can do from here. I feel like Dolly already gets that, like, it is what it is. Dolly already is at, like, over it. Dolly wasn't even in this scene. She's somewhere else trying to ice her nose. Like, Summer can handle that. I'm somewhere else. It is what it is, if you may. And then from there, Tasiki begins to attack Summer again, okay? And that puts a pause to the episode. And then from the next time on, we get Summer versus Tasiki. We get Summer having a moment with Lex where she tells Lex that she, you know, ain't got nothing to talk to her about, basically dismisses her. Tommy is consoling Tasiki. They sit in Indian style in the grass, and Tasiki is crying to Tommy, which is why I don't understand, like, child, I need to hear that moment, because I don't know why they're not good right now, or at least Tasiki's not good with her. So they have their moment. Tasiki ends up asking Chrisean why she's still talking about her negatively online. Natalie introduces Daisy, which we've been waiting for. Remember, Daisy is from Baddies Gone Wild, and her and Rolly have been beefing or whatever. Ooh. And they end up squaring up. Child, I heard, and it looks like Rolly may have lost. But for, you know, Zeus is going to play camera angles to the way that they want it to look. So they were kind of sort of looking from the back angle of Rolly, you know, being in the front, so that you can't really tell what damage Daisy is doing. Daisy even called it out online that she hopes that they're not playing it from that angle the entire time, so that you can't see the damage that she's really doing. And it looks like Anna Mac is going to end up jumping in that situation. So it's one of those things where, like, if Anna Mac had to jump in, Daisy had to have been doing damage. So their fight is going to finally be had from all of the ish that they were talking about each other on the internet. Natalie ends up giving out the Bad Girls Club chains to the bad girls, and Summer is steady throwing shade at Persuasion. Okay, child, it's giving. Summer is probably the ultimate Chrisean fan at this point in time, because I don't ever remember her and Persuasion having run-ins for her to have a problem with Persuasion. Child, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but Persuasion wasn't even on those seasons with Summer. So I feel like it's a fangirl moment towards Chrisean, because her being a fan of the show before she auditioned, she probably seen, you know, her getting washed in the sink by Chrisean, and doesn't have, like, automatically from jump doesn't have no respect for her, or whatever the case may be. That's what it gave me. And they are going to end up fighting, okay? I feel like Persuasion is going to get that, but at the same token, I feel like Summer's flailing arms are going to clock Persuasion in the eye. Reason I say that is because Persuasion keeps wearing shades in her confessionals. She keeps wearing shades in her confessionals. There gotta be a reason why. And I feel like Summer may be the reason why. Child, I'm gonna drop everything on the floor. But let me know in the comments whether or not you agree or disagree. Let me know in the comments how you felt about the episode. Honestly, I will give the episode an 8 out of 10 rating wise. It could have been a 10, but they spent way too much time watching Tinkerbella and Cold Killer go back and forth before they finally squared up, and she lost her brain. But I love the comedic relief that they added to it. I feel like that kind of sort of tied it up like a knot. I also feel like, child, they should have raised the volume on Tasiki's mic, because when I tell you I had to rewind and fast forward to kind of sort of hear the bits and pieces that I did hear out of the whispering. She was whispering the entire time. Like, she's probably one of those people that lose their voice when she's crying or when she's angry or whatever the case may be. And that's good. That's okay. But at least raise her volume. Like, what is she saying to her sister? Like, is she? It was to a point in time where I thought she was whispering, because she did not want the microphone to pick up what she was saying, and she was trying to have a public, private conversation. That's what it also gave. So, honestly, trying to decipher what Tasiki was saying was annoying. I feel like bits and pieces. I don't want to wear this lip gloss. Let me put on Fenty. I feel like bits and pieces of the episode was definitely genius. And I feel like they definitely did their biggest one. Let me know in the comments how you felt about the episode. Let me know in the comments how you feel about Summer versus Tasiki. Now, I will say this. Having watched the episode 3 times over, I honestly am team Tasiki when it comes to Tasiki versus Summer. Reason being is because, sir, ma'am, you brought her into the group chat. She threw you out of the group chat and you made a new group chat, like I said before. So at this point in time, you're cruising for a bruising, okay? Now, when it comes to the big three, do I take Lex and Dolly's side over Summer? Absolutely, because they did their very best to have your back. You went on the TV and played in their face. You went on live on Twitch and played in their face some more. You went on live on, she's basically on a live tour, playing in their face and acting like they didn't have their back, and had us going into the season thinking that Summer was the Lone Ranger and that none of the girls had her back and that she was by her lonesome, when everybody was literally telling you to calm down and trying to save you from getting your face busted in. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like she's not being fair to them. You know what I mean? Now, I do feel like when it comes to them, I gotta give Summer a little grace, because this is the same Summer. Summer has not changed. Summer was talking disrespectful before, and y'all were in support of it. Summer was always had the gift of gab, always spoke her mind, and y'all were backing it up and backing it up and backing it up for 2 whole seasons. And now that the attention is straight up on Chrisean and Tasiki situation, all of a sudden she's doing too much. All of a sudden she has to calm down. She hasn't switched up. This is the exact same Summer. But all of a sudden, y'all morals are kicking in now. Why didn't y'all have morals on what she was doing before? So there, I can definitely say I can understand where Summer is coming from, but it does not excuse how Summer is acting. It does not excuse that I feel like Summer is wrong to continuously insert herself into family business. And it does not excuse the fact that I feel like she should give her friends more grace when it comes to how they chose to regard her, because they even said, both of them said on separate lives, that y'all had conversations prior to the season and that they were going to try to, step differently. And that they also had conversations in regards to her and Chrisean and Tasiki, and that, morally they can't side with her, but they going to have her back and let her handle her business. But now you in front of the cameras acting a fool, calling the girl a rapist, freaking trying to get her sister and her to fight and doing the absolute most. And it's just like, calm down. Now, one thing I will say is this. Everybody and their mama, Gretch, Rolly, Natalie, everybody was telling Summer to calm down. But not one person told Tasiki to calm down. Only person that was trying to figure out why Tasiki was so buck was Chrisean, and that was for her own personal reason. When it came to Summer, nobody told this girl to calm down. Y'all see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where I can understand where Summer is coming from. Now, Summer popping it on the internet talking about she wants to come back as a special guest, and that's the only way that she'll be able to come to another baddie set. Who do you think you are, Summer? Like, baddies can and will continue without Summer. Like, I do understand that she brings, like, a lot to the table as far as storylines go, as far as funny moments, etc. But it doesn't change the fact that Lemmy is not going to make you a special guest. You're not going to get special treatment. And even that is giving, like, scary a little bit. Like, towards the end of her and Tasiki fighting, when she ended up breaking down crying, it gave, like, that's what I mean by fight or flight. Like, you were fighting her because you had no choice. Like, your mouth got you bit off more than you could chew. So you had no choice but to be fighting her. That doesn't necessarily not make you scary. Like, you never wanted to fight her head to head. You kept telling her to leave you alone. You kept backing up. You kept not owning up to the BS that you were throwing at her. You kept saying, regard your sister, regard your sister. Okay, I'm going to regard my sister after I regard you, because you're still talking. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like there's so many perspectives to the circumstance. I'm not totally against Summer, but she's wrong in this circumstance. I'm not totally against Bad Dolly and Lex on how they handled Summer, how they have been handling Summer this season, but they're wrong for not keeping the same energy for past seasons. And regardless, I feel like Summer, you're entitled to your opinion, but sometimes you got to keep your, what they said in elementary school, sometimes you got to keep your hands, feet, and objects to yourself. Shut up. This opinion is based on family business. So if you left the family alone, then the family would not be regarding you the way that they are. And it's like, child, if Summer shut the hell up, she would not be acting the way she is. Like this little cleft lip that she got, Tasiki about to bust her another lip. So, child, let me know in the comments how you felt about the episode. Let me know how you feel about my review. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with anything that I said. And of course, like always, y'all, please like, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and tell a friend to tell a friend that PYT is in the building. I have a couple more videos coming up. I see Bad Dolly had inserted herself into the group chat as well by going live. I'm so mad I missed it, but I'm going to do my best to check out what she had to say and catch y'all up into all of the drama when it comes to the big three. All right, y'all. But thank y'all so much for being here with me. I'm done with my face. I'm going to throw on some earrings, throw on my outfit, and be out the door. Thank y'all for being here once again. And until next time, thank y'all so much for watching PYT TV. Mwah. Respectfully.